2020 with a dedication to growing sports, along with creating opportunities for women and girls, along with players of diverse identities in Wisconsin and across the Midwest. We're glad you joined us to help further this mission. We begin our pregame ceremony with our team introductions first. Let's meet the video Gridlock. Number 0, Jamie Jesus. Number 1, Anna Weissig. Number 2, Brittany Kaplan. Number 4, Stassi Tingerlini. Number 6, Renata Pepe. Number 7, Louisa Evans. Number 8, Kelly Harlan. Number 9, Becky Marilowski. Number 11, Noah Kim Mayer. Number 12, Amy Joe. Number 14, Tulsa Douglas. Number 15, Elizabeth Mosqueda. Number 20, Ian Cartagena. Number 26, Sarah Sievers. Number 27, Aki Law. Number 33, Emily Barrett. Number 48, Lisa Kowalski. Number 52, Sydney Harris. Number 64, Tracy Long. Number 66, Janine Lavati. Number 83, Hillary Hens. Number 88, Nikki Hare. And number 96, Leah Finley. The coaches for the New York Gridlock include Lee Curry, Ryan Thompson, Hartley Gregory, John Reynolds, and Sarah Perdue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet your Milwaukee Monarchs! Number 0, Harley Tucker! Number 2, Donna Hudson! Number 5, Rose Lincoln! Number 6, Number 9, Patsy Brown. Number 10, Payer. Number 11, Rachel Lindsay. Number 13, Patsy Tierney. Number 14, William Montanico. Number 17, Caitlin Duffner. Number 18, Rex Zucchero. Number 19, Emily Cohen. Number 22, Alex Bellinger. Number 27, Steph Lucas Scopola. Number 32, Matt Heinecker. Number 34, Lindsay Carpenter. Number 42, Ashley Welch. Number 44, Anna Frank. Number 52, Annie Schroeder. Number of the PUL are committed to the league's vision to center humanity and conference format mental wellness and strive to be anti-racist in all we do. Our work for equity and total aligns and intersects with the battle against discrimination in all its forms. With this purpose in mind, we invite you to reflect on how far we've come and how far we still must go before our sport is truly equitable. Accordingly, we now welcome Lucille Sells, Monarchs board member, with today's land acknowledgments.
Today we gather together in this good land that was first inhabited by the people of the mound-building civilizations. Before the occupations of Europeans, many have gathered here and called this place home. But the Menominee, Ho-Chunk, Cox, Montana, Sauk, Potawatomi, Ojibwa, and Ottawa peoples. The displaced from their traditional homelands in the eastern United States, they were later joined by the Oneida, Stockbridge, Munsee, and their brother Kong peoples. We honor the ancestral stewards of this land. We offer our respect to their elders, past, present, and future. Even so, we recognize this acknowledgement is not enough. As we see land rights taken, treaties broken, land destroyed. We invite all attending today to learn more about the indigenous land we are occupying and find ways in your community to uplift and advocate for indigenous rights and land. Thank you.
Welcome to Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, where we are going to be watching the Milwaukee Monarchs host the New York Gridlock today in this broadcast brought to you by Spin Ultimate for the Premier Ultimate League. My name is Glenn Poole, and I'm here in the booth with Sarah Lazenby.
Yeah, so we're here at Hart Park, and it is actually a gorgeous 71 degrees out today. Much warmer weather than the Monarchs' prior games or practices have been. And there is a bit of a wind today. It's a 10-mile-an-hour wind with up to 20-mile-an-hour gusts, and it seems to be a pretty upwind-downwind, so we'll see how that impacts the game.
But apart from that, a beautiful day here for some Ultimate. The captains of each team are meeting in the center right now, talking to the observers and discussing how we're going to kick this off. I'm really excited for today's game, Sarah, especially after watching the last one that Monarchs played here, where the conditions were much more challenging for players, and the game itself was also challenging for the Monarchs.
Yeah, but I think I'm excited too after watching New York Gridlock yesterday against Minnesota Strike in a very, very close game. So excited to see them, second game of the weekend, on some travel, how they will bring out some intensity for the second game of their weekend.
And we know that the Minnesota Strike are an extremely strong team, tons of talent, and that was a real nail-biter down to a 1-point difference in overtime. So the Gridlock put up one heck of a fight there, and I have no reason to think that they're going to come out with any kind of tiredness or flatness here. I expect it to be a very competitive game from the beginning.
Yeah, and in fact, in our conversations with Gridlock coaches prior to the game, they discussed that desire to bring a level of intensity to this game, recognizing that yesterday their defense at the start of that game maybe was not as intense or at as high of a level as they would like, and so that's one of their focuses for this game, is to come out at a very high level of intensity of play.
Meanwhile, the Monarchs are looking to continue refining their systems. Head coach Caitlin Murphy talked about how they're really continuing to be internally focused. They know that the season is still mostly ahead of them. This is just their second game so far in 2023, and they're really excited about continuing to develop their chemistry together, and I think that they have a great opportunity here today to really show the work that they've been putting in practices since that loss to the Shadow, and I think that they're coming out fired up as well.
Definitely. I think we will see them play with maybe more confidence with the disc than they had in that first game. It'll be interesting to see how much they can open up the field and maybe take some more high risk or, looks. I feel like the weather that they played in their last game necessitated some small ball. in terms of moving the disc on the field, and so I'm very interested to see how they might expand on that with some nicer conditions.
We will see the Monarchs start on defense, however, and the Gridlock will start on O, maybe not quite immediately bringing out their defensive intensity unless they happen to turn it over.
This is true. We'll see if the Monarchs can generate a turn off of this.
Excited to welcome the audience. Feel free to add us on Twitter, I suppose. Although we're not likely to be checking that during the game, focusing as we are on the field in front of us.
Yeah, so it looks like observers are signaling that it is ready to start. Looks like
Jarek with the pull.
Yep. And we see Dana Demert out there on the field.
Some good coordination already from the Monarchs to match up, although they kind of missed the thrower who picked up the disc.
Yep. Looks like Gridlock doing a great job of just working that open space down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're...
Yeah, that was really smooth and clean. Almost want to know whether the force was inconsistently applied there because the Gridlock seemed to work it down so easily.
Yeah, and not surprising to see De Jesus in the end zone scoring a goal for the Gridlock.
Yeah, one of their most consistent and high volume players for sure.
Right, but that means that the Monarchs got a chance to come out on offense. We see Rose Glinka headed out there, Cassie Duty, Amy Shriver.
Yeah, they were. The Monarchs were definitely playing around with lines in their last game, trying different combinations to see, what was working, what was going to click, and had a lot of opportunities to play offense, of course, because it's a really challenging game. And so I think they're still trying to refine that primary offensive line, and we'll see how this one does.
Yep, looks like observers are once again signaling for the pull. Ready to go on the Monarch side of things.
Unfortunately today, Mosquera will not be playing for Gridlock, and so we're seeing Amy So with the pull. A nice floaty one near the sideline.
Definitely, yeah. And we talked with the Gridlock coaches about how they might make adjustments with Mosquera being out due to that unfortunate injury.
Good initiation from Emily Cohen there, but the Gridlock did a good job of picking it up with some switching defense.
Yep.
Creating some pressure immediately. Released with a throw to Glinka, who gets hand-blocked by Joe. That's a nice play.
All right, so the Monarchs offensive line will have to do some work on defense here.
Violation called. Looks like a foul.
Looking for a signal from the observers, not seeing one yet.
Yeah, mostly saw the arm signaling from Annie Shriver, but looks like it was back between Cohen and Young.
Who are having a little conversation here with the observer about that call.
Just off camera.
Yeah. Looks like Caitlin Duffner will be on the mark for the Monarchs once we potentially resume play.
Good positioning from the Monarchs. Looks like they did a good job picking up in transition, getting on defense.
Indeed, all right. Observer coming over to where the disc is. Potentially a turnover. No. Oh, okay.
Just the foul brought things back, it looks like.
Great around.
Yeah, nice from Kowalski, centering the disc there, getting a lot more space for the Gridlock offense. And again, working the break side, the throw.
Annie Shriver on the mark there with Nola Kim Mayer with the disc.
Good pressure from Glinka on that reset pass. Kowalski still looking for that break side.
Carpenter there on the mark. Again, those arounds are just
finding lots of space for continuation passes, but the Monarchs doing a good job of sealing and preventing the continues.
Yeah, and that was a great switch by the Monarchs there. A little bit overthrown will be a turnover for the Gridlock and allowing the Monarchs offense another chance.
Yeah, they did a good job playing downfield defense there, making sure that there were no easy continuation options, so that, force a team to throw enough times, you might allow them to make a mistake.
So we have Eileen Duffner on the disc. Good pressure from the Gridlock there.
Yeah, tightly contested from Joe. That's a tough pass. Well corralled by Shriver.
Cassie Duty for a wide open under.
Looks off the deep, finds Emily Cohen under. Ooh, nice cut from Glinka. Monarchs being pretty patient here.
Yeah, they've had some deep looks, but they're choosing to work the disc down the field slowly.
Cohen does a nice job of opening up the break side, but great defensive play. Didn't catch the number on that. Nice break from Joe.
Indeed. Nikki Hare with the disc, choosing to dump that back. Oh.
Almost created some pressure there between Glinka and Duty.
A little bit overthrown again, so we have another chance for the Monarchs to score.
Yeah, their defensive intensity looks good here. That bodes well for the continuation of this game. Big aggressive shot, trying to open up that D space like we talked about. But a very nice play.
Potentially some discussion here, maybe a foul being called.
Yeah, some contact.
It would have been a sibling connection.
Yeah, Duffner talking it out a little bit with Kim Mayer.
All right.
Nice pressure there from Kim Mayer.
Yep, so we'll see Anna Weisen pick up the disc here with Cassie Duty marking. Another high throw by Gridlock.
Ooh, great bid to try and get that, try to retain possession.
Yep. Glinka is just all over the field with those cuts today.
Duffner holding it a bit, finds an open side reset. Nice defensive switch from Gridlock. Duffner gets it back in the middle. Looks for Shriver on the break side, but just a little bit too wide.
Yeah, I wonder if we're seeing the wind impact some of these throws in terms of...
Fantastic play from Cohen.
Yeah.
But, throws it just behind Duffner. Yeah, I think you might be right, Sarah. It is pretty windy out there, especially with the unpredictableness of the wind. And looks like the Gridlock are going to call a timeout to settle.
So with that timeout, we'll take a moment to highlight Associated Bank. Associated Bank is the official live stream sponsor of the Milwaukee Monarchs. At Associated Bank, your money works here. Visit associatedbank.com.
So some back and forth already. You know, both teams are ready to fight on defense, it seems. But they're also finding it challenging, whether it's the conditions or just the pressure from the other side. Both teams are having trouble stringing passes together.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what, if any, adjustments Gridlock or Monarchs make here on this timeout in terms of who are the personnel on the field.
Yeah, it's still early. At this point, taking up a lot of clock.
Definitely, and within a 10 to 20 yard span back and forth. Looks like Nola Kinnair out there. Young.
Kowalski setting the stack. Coming out a pretty straightforward vertical look. I wonder if they try any misdirection. Yes, they do. Splitting both sides, then bringing a player under from the deep. But they find Kowalski in the front.
Good pressure from the Monarchs preventing those deep looks.
Good diving grab, and then into the end zone for Kowalski. Clean possession after the timeout from Gridlock.
Yeah, good opportunity to reset and play their game there.
Mm-hmm. And with that break, it's 2-0 to Gridlock. But nothing to worry about yet.
No, not yet, but we definitely want to see the Monarchs come out here and get a clean hold.
Slightly different look personnel-wise.
Yeah, so Shriver is still out there for another point. Unsurprising.
But Kelly making her first appearance in the game. Big target downfield.
Indeed.
Looks like Hildebrand coming out to sort of anchor this line as a handler. Also Cassie Brown, another strong thrower for the Monarchs.
On the defensive side, we see Kara Sieber there. Not a Pepe.
Sydney Harris, and the big pull from Malinowski, rolling out the side. We saw a lot of that from the shadow. And also in the game last night, I think a lot of PUL teams are now looking for that early opportunity to create pressure. And the other team has to bring it in from the sideline.
Yeah. Oh, we see a disc go up.
Ooh. Easily read by Malinowski. The receiver never really quite got a read on it.
No.
But they will have the whole field to work it up.
Yeah, and that's one strategy to get the disc off the sideline there and get it in a little bit friendlier territory for you.
We certainly saw a lot of that at college regionals last weekend.
Indeed, the conditions were a little bit worse than today, however.
Oh, but a tough throw into the turf there on the centering pass, and Brown goes right to the end zone. Well read.
Well read by Alex Bollinger there.
Ooh.
Oh!
Yeah, getting to a high stall count, had to make something happen. Couldn't quite connect with her receiver.
Yeah. So we'll see Gridlock again in that vertical stack.
Almost have to resist the temptation to encourage players on the mark after doing that so much as a coach this past college season.
Yeah, so Malinowski with the disc there. Gridlock again, just working it cleanly up that open side.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the Monarchs had a tough time picking people up matchup-wise in transition, but they get a turnover anyway.
And just a little bit of a short throw there.
Monarchs patiently walking it up, setting up their vertical stack offense. Brown looking to reset right away to Hildebrand. Nice catch with pressure.
Hildebrand sends that disc.
It's not clear whether she was looking for Brown up the line or the deeper shot to Bollinger.
Yeah.
Sort of in between the two.
In any case, Gridlock will have the disc back now at about midfield.
Oh, and it goes up. The Gridlock offense brought Claire Kelly underneath, and then Sieber skied the pack.
And success for Gridlock.
Another break. Would have liked to see the Monarchs there, I think, do a little bit more communicating on defense. If Kelly is able to stay in that deep space and collect any of those floating passes while the defenders who are already underneath can take those undercuts.
Yeah, it was interesting to me that deep look by Gridlock looked off a pretty wide open under from Sydney Harris. So signaling that the Gridlock are ready to take some risks and trust their players will come down with the disc in the end zone.
Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot, I suppose.
So we're really looking for the Monarchs here to have a clean hold to keep this game, close and competitive here, shift some momentum.
Yeah, they really just have to continue to work on their systems, be patient when things get chaotic. I think that's what we saw on the goal line. They needed to find a reset, sort of get back into their end zone offense.
Yeah, they will be heading more downwind at this point, so we'll see if they utilize that space.
Nice floating pull, though, from the Gridlock.
A hammer reset. Unconventional, but it worked.
Yeah, nice to move it across the field, open up. Now they go way back to the other side.
Oh. We had Demert wide open in the end zone, but unfortunately not a clean reset there.
A nice defensive play from Barrett to get a hand on that pass. They didn't look like they quite set up their reset structure.
Another deep pass that goes down, so Monarchs will get another chance to score here.
Yeah, the quick disc movement was working well for them, but they just have to get into that reset structure a little bit quicker. But they are going to fire.
Jarek sends it. Oh, but the wind kind of bounces that at the last second there.
Yeah, Welsh didn't quite have position on her defender.
I see Donna Johnston there kind of in that open space, but
another, yeah.
Yeah, that was a foul.
Yeah, Joe's kind of stepping out to create contact almost, and that's what the discussion's going to be about from Jarek. I like the way that Lum picked it up and moved it really quickly there, finding Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The Gridlock really are moving the disc quickly and looking to attack. That's proven effective so far.
I mean, that's what they discussed their strategy was going to be at the start of this game.
Mm-hmm. They're executing pretty well. Barrett with a nice under.
Yeah. We have Hannah Frank on the mark there. Jarek with some intense defense trying to prevent that reset.
That's a difficult reset to cover. Joe's very, very quick.
Gridlock kind of stuck on the sideline there, but very close to the end zone. Beautiful reset, but potentially a pick call?
Yeah, it looks like Jarek is calling for a pick, but saying that she would not have been able to actually prevent the throw, and so she's just going to recover positioning.
Observer doing some clarification there, and we're going to be back underway.
Immediate break side look.
Yeah, Gridlock really utilizing the width of the field here.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's Kim Mayer that had the disc.
All right, and another Gridlock score.
They're looking pretty clean after that point. With a lot of possessions, they called a timeout. The coaching staff came in and settled them down, and now they've been pretty efficient since.
Yeah. They have a large coaching staff of 5 different coaches, all with different roles on the team, presumably.
Splitting responsibilities for the offense and defense, though they're right now playing a lot of defense, so I bet we'll see even some of the players who tend to play O-line more often get into the rotation on D as well.
Yeah, so if you're the Monarchs here, what do you do on this next point?
Coach Murphy talked about really focusing internally on refining those systems, and so I think that they really want to commit to that. They've generated some good open cuts. They just have rushed a little bit, and so if they are able to remain patient and work for each other, I think that we'll see them start to come together and connect a bit more, find more success in the outcomes, not just the moments.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pull by the Gridlock. We see Glinka on the field again for the Monarchs. Unsurprising that Glinka had the opening cut there.
A great cut from Duty, but Glinka looked it off, seeing the poached defender in the downfield space. Yeah, and then just a bit of crossing between the in cut and the deep cut.
Yeah, it was a pretty high stall as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see the Monarchs try to get it back here again. But again, the Gridlock are just able to utilize the width of the field and really open up space.
Nice block.
Beautiful,
from Glinka.
beautiful D by Glinka.
Mm-hmm. Good safe positioning too from Shriver, ready to make a play if necessary, but not throwing her body into the space.
Yeah, only 1 minute remaining in this first quarter.
Good under from Cohen.
Good movement there from the Monarchs. Just swinging back and forth with their handlers.
Pretty patient, but sort of cutting each other off in the downfield space. Again, not quite finding their reset structure.
Yeah, there's definitely some double cutting happening. Pick call there.
Yeah. Need to create a little bit more space for each other.
Cohen there with the disc. Not a whole lot of options here.
Looks like a foul called and
No
uncontested.
contest, yeah.
Yeah, a quick no contest from Cartagena. Cohen will get another 10 seconds.
Heavily contested reset there.
Definitely find Shriver way on the far side, who's going to put it to Glinka.
Or Cohen.
Cohen might corral it.
All right.
Right on the goal line out. Ooh!
Cohen to Glinka for the score. Monarchs are on the board.
Yeah, that looked like a better flow from the Monarchs. They were able to move it across the field, have a little bit more room to work with in the downfield space for that continuation option. Things were a little bit congested, but when they moved it across, they found that space more open.
Yeah, they were definitely making some great cuts in the first part of that point, but just often at the same time, so they never saw the benefits or rewards from being effective in that space. So nice to see them utilize the width of the field for that score.
You saw the smiles from Glinka, knowing that she was about to get the Monarchs' first goal after the defender over-pursued a bit. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll bring you back into Hart Park when we come for the second quarter.
Indeed.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
And welcome back to Hart Park, where the Milwaukee Monarchs are hosting the New York Gridlock. The fans are excited. We just got the first Monarch score of the game. They are currently down to the Gridlock 1-4. Heading into the second quarter, after a little bit of more offensive success for the Monarchs. What have you seen so far, Sarah?
So I've seen a lot of potential from the Monarchs, making some good cuts. We've noticed that they are having potentially some timing issues with those cuts, where a little bit of double cutting. I think, Gridlock have mostly played exactly the game that they said they were going to today, which was to come out with intensity, particularly after that timeout adjustment. We've seen the Gridlock kind of ramp up that intensity further.
Yeah, both teams are playing strong defense, contesting the downfield looks, clogging up the lanes. The Gridlock have found a little bit more success attacking deep so far, but it's still early. It's still a close game, and we'll see what adjustments the coaches have heading into the second quarter, see if the Monarchs can put together a bit more of a run and make things a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, and so as we're about to start the second quarter, we'd like to remind you that this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. All right, so we see Monarchs on the field, Gridlock on the field. Looks like the Monarchs will start with the disc here for the second quarter. Again, seeing Duty, Shriver,
Kelly, Cohen. Looks like they have a little bit more consistency from their O-line. A bit of an errant pull there. They couldn't quite stop the roll, and it's going to go out the sideline. Not super ideal.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate miss of stopping the roll there. Really gets them in a tough spot on the field.
Gridlock are doing some poaching and switching, but the thrower finds Cohen, who's left free.
Good communication there by Cohen. Duty with the disc there.
Nice decisive look downfield, right to Cohen. Yeah, New York trying to do some of this poaching and switching, getting lost a bit.
We see Shriver there with a one-handed grab. Good movement up the sideline here.
Looks like Gridlock are going back to a more person-to-person defensive look now that the Monarchs have marched it up a bit.
Yeah, and like we saw towards the end of the first quarter there, Monarchs utilizing the width of the field a little more, and it seems to be successful for them.
Really exciting over-the-top throw from Cohen. Well caught by Shriver. No teapot, unfortunately, on the hammer, and so it's going to go back. Just kidding. Looks like it might have been a stall call.
A little bit of a Madison inside joking there. Apologies to those who are not from the area.
You can join the fun, too. Anytime you're throwing it over an upside-down throw, put one hand on your hip to catch.
Bonus points if you sing the I'm a Little Teapot song.
I've never done that.
You have goals for this season now.
Always looking to improve, Sarah.
Indeed.
Looks like the observers are going to overrule the stall call, and this disc is going to stay with Shriver right on the goal line. They're almost in a vertical stack in their end zone already.
Yeah. Shriver looking to reset here.
Nice inside pass. Right back to Cohen, who collects a goal as well as her earlier assist, and the Monarchs have now broken for the first time.
Oh, I think they started on offense there.
Oh, did they start
They
on
did. It
offense?
was the start of a quarter.
Oh, goodness. Well, they
But
still
back-to-back
scored
scores.
2 in a row, and that's great news for them.
Yes, indeed. So potentially some momentum moving the Monarchs' way. They definitely looked more comfortable on the field that point. Again, we mentioned that utilizing the entire width of the field to help create some space. I really liked how patient they were as they got to the end zone. They didn't just throw something up, hoping for that quick score. They were willing to move the disc around until a better option came along.
Yeah, they're also able to work out of some of the chaos early in that point with the switching defense that the Gridlock were playing. That was good, smart offense.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about that point, also started with that errant roll on the sideline. Another sign that the Monarchs were really able to more effectively get off those swings to move that disc.
And it's also good mental resilience to overcome that hiccup.
Yes, indeed. And so we see the Monarchs D-line out here. It looks like Jarek for the pull. Beautiful pull.
Line drive down the center. Finley's going to pick it up, center to Cartagena.
Finley with the disc again there. Looks like Monarchs are in potentially a zone look.
Yep, forcing the disc to the sideline, but nice break throw back to the center from, it looked like, Douglas.
Douglas had a great game last night against the Minnesota Strike. And, you know, Coach has mentioned expecting to see another excellent performance out of Douglas today.
Nice flash into the middle from Johnston there to break up that potential inside look.
Very high throw there, but successful.
Even without the teapot. Pretty patient from the Gridlock. They're using the space in the middle of that zone look pretty effectively, just chunking up yards a little bit at a time. Nice
Ooh,
grab.
that was a brilliant grab there.
Yeah.
We hear some fire calls on the field.
Calavity finds Barrett in the middle. Barrett back up to Cartagena. Goes into the end zone. Pretty efficient, very calm and collected there from Gridlock.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't seem too troubled by the zone there.
No, but a good change of pace for the Monarchs defense, I would say. They had 1 or 2 opportunities to create a turnover.
Yeah, we see Lavity on the screen there with the score, high-fiving a coach.
Yep. Getting props from Thompson.
Lavity had that great grab there. Just
It's to Jesus. I'm misidentifying players here. I apologize.
Yeah, from the booth here, it is challenging to see the numbers for the teams. I have a better appreciation for very clean uniform designs.
Yeah, one of the problems is that some of the digits look the same.
They do.
Like the 0
we love
and the 2 are very similar.
Yeah, we love a creative font choice visually, but from the booth up here, that does make it very challenging.
So apologies for that, folks, but we will continue to do our best.
All right, so it's Gridlock ready to pull here. Again, we see Anna Wisen on the pull there, with Mascara out, really utilizing a variety of personnel.
Little bump there from Young on Brown, who finds Jane moving to the break side real well and boosts it deep. Let's see if Steph can
Oh,
hang on to a great position from Bugash Skopaline, but couldn't quite keep it in her hands. They've developed so much positioning and awareness, playing a lot of Golty in Madison. So I'm not surprised that they're able to get their hands on it, but tough catch to be sure.
Definitely, and Gridlock sending the disc up here. Great run onto that disc by Kim Mayer.
Ooh, into the end zone. Nice placement, but just a little bit out of bounds. Nevis couldn't quite bring it in while keeping the toes in bounds.
Yeah, that was really great defense in the end zone by the Monarchs. You know, really forcing the Gridlock into an option that wasn't in their favor.
Seems some good chemistry already from Brown and Zhang as the Monarchs handlers. We'll see if they can keep connecting, but a really great defensive play from Kim Mayer, who tries to go right away to Young. Very, very fast pass.
Yeah, that definitely came in a little speedy. Challenging to catch in that scenario.
Small window, had to get it there quick.
Yeah, so we see Cassie Brown starting with the disc again.
A lot of pressure there. Very physical defense on Zhang.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that the Monarchs are doing some of that double cutting again as they're sort of cramped by their end zone. Hopefully that swing to Cohen helps to open the field up a little more for them.
Kelly's got a couple steps here on Kim Mayer, but is probably too deep already. So yeah, she's going to come under.
Cohen being very patient with the disc here. As we see Kelly under again. Oh, but right to a Gridlock player.
Yeah, Kowalski brought that in real confidently.
Gridlock again being very patient here. Great defense there by Bugash Skopaline.
Yeah, that was a good mark from, was that Bollinger who pushed that disc pretty wide toward the sideline and is now playing real sticky defense on the reset.
Got some Gridlock players wide open there. Oh, and right in for a score.
Yeah, double cut of their own, but they were able to communicate and allow each other to bring that in.
And that is a break for the Gridlock.
Nice patience from the Gridlock handlers against some quite good pressure from the Monarchs, I would say. They were forcing the Gridlock to push the disc wide, but some really skilled break throws that kept that disc in play and ultimately found the end zone on that break side.
Yeah. This game was made possible in part by Draver Dental, the official team dentist of the Milwaukee Admirals and the Milwaukee Monarchs.
So 2-6.
Little under 7 minutes left in this quarter.
Monarchs bring back a lot of the players who have been consistently on that O-line for them. Shriver and Duty. Looks like we're also going to see...
Looks like Glinka out there again. Yeah, I think some of the flexibility of their lines are useful here as we've tend to see a little bit of streaky play where Gridlock have scored several points. We had the Monarchs score a couple in a row. So a relatively short pull here.
Out the sideline, though. Monarchs going to have to center it. Really good defensive pressure downfield from Joe on Shriver to prevent that initiation look.
Yeah, so there's some discussion of up or down disc there. Looks like the observer rules that it is up. All right, and the disc is back in. See Glinka with a cut there, but Malinowski is just all over that disc.
Yeah, it was probably baited. Malinowski's got a lot of speed.
Oh, almost there from
Duffner had
Duffner.
good pressure. Ooh. Young with a nice deep cut. Yeah, Gridlock continued to attack and transition, just really pushing the pace. And it's working out for them.
Yeah, and we saw a switch there on the part of the Monarchs. Glinka definitely wasn't on that matchup initially, so trying to catch up there and help on that deep cut. We definitely have seen the Gridlock since that point that was so long just clean up their game, though. They're moving much more efficiently, much shorter duration of those points.
Yeah, I have been impressed with their efficiency. Even against like pretty good pressure from the Monarchs, we saw that that contested under from Joe, and she was able to turn around and hit the next pass really without hesitation. She's extremely skilled, even with that kind of intense defensive pressure.
Yeah. We see Malinowski with the pull here.
Another roller, trying to put it out of bounds. It's going to stay in the middle, though. Didn't quite have the edge on it they were looking for.
Not quite successful at stopping the roll yet for the Monarchs there, though.
They've got good field position. Brown's got it in the middle and is looking into the teeth of this Gridlock zone look. Finds Kelly on the break side.
Yeah, so this is the first zone look that we've seen from the Gridlock today, right? They did a little poaching defense before, but...
Good cut from Pugash Kopaline. Looked off. Looks like a pretty wide mark on Brown. Nice catch there from Duffner.
Duffner going for a quick reset, and then Brown getting the disc there.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pugash Kopaline definitely had some steps on the defender there, but just a short throw.
And Harris just ate it up.
Gridlock again with another chance for a break. Again, utilizing that width of the field. See, Gridlock there. Malinowski coming in for...
Yep, no hesitation. Right up to Sieber.
Malinowski calling for that disc in the deep space. Not coming, though. Wide open on the under with the layout to save.
Yeah, that was nice movement from Tangerlini, who gets it back close to the goal line.
Yeah, so we'll see if the Monarchs can stop that on the goal line.
Oh,
Not this time.
That's a nice break. Yeah, just didn't quite take away the backhand enough. Challenging.
Yeah. Gridlock seem really able to move the disc in the end zone in small spaces. So we've seen a couple points now where they are stuck on that sideline and just able to send it in, even if the window is small.
Yeah, New York's playing with a ton of confidence here.
Bloom with the score there. Milwaukee is taking a timeout. So resetting for the team. We see Coach Murphy talking with the team there. Glad you're an experienced coach. What would you say in this moment?
Well, I think that the only insight I have into this moment really is that Coach Murphy is an extremely trusted presence for the Monarchs. I think that she's come in, it's her first year coaching this team, but she's well regarded, well respected in the community. And so I think, I can imagine her coming in and again reinforcing this idea that it's not about the outcomes of each point. The Monarchs are doing a good job of working it up when they trust their systems, when they create space for each other. And, they need to keep believing in that process and not allowing the outcome of each possession to dictate how they feel about the process. Because the season is long, right? We know that the outcome of this game is not going to determine, whether they're in contention for a playoff spot. And ultimately, it's really going to be about, can they come together and continue to work through these challenges? Because they're playing very strong teams so far, right? We know that the DC Shadow are going to be likely in championship weekend. The Gridlock are also probably going to be at the top of the standings in the Premier Ultimate League. And so really it's, can we take this pressure and work through it in order to refine our systems so that we put ourselves in a good position later in the season?
Yeah, and that was a relatively quick timeout by the Monarchs. And it looks like a dropped pull.
That's really tough. But, again, you have to stand up and say, okay, what's the work now that we have to do? We have to try to earn this back and play good defense on the goal line. So Tangerlini is going to find Kowalski right across, who has a nice inside look, really opening up space, and then scoring pretty efficiently.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a great inside throw there.
Using the break side, really threatening the break side, which opens up room all in front of the thrower in the middle of the field. Yeah.
Yeah, tough coming out of the timeout there, though, for the Monarchs.
Yep. That's the kind of thing that, as a coach, you really have to just reinforce. You know what? Mistakes are going to happen. You need to shake them off. You need to respond resiliently because, again, one moment is not going to really determine the trajectory of your season.
Yeah, and we know that the Monarchs have the toughest strength of schedule of any team in the Premier Ultimate League. So, definitely every game is going to be a challenge and going to be a test of your focus and your strength and your ability to continue after a mistake or a misstep.
Yeah, indeed.
Have Hannah Frank there on the disc.
Centering to Heidecker. Goes back to Frank. Like the movement there. Gridlock again with a bit of poaching. And, Welsh finds some space down the middle. Goes back to Frank. This is nice movement here from the Monarchs.
Yeah, it looks like the Gridlock are in a zone look again. Beautiful way to center the disc there. Demert with the disc.
Nice option from Johnston. And it looks like Gridlock are getting back into their person and are going to take advantage of this congestion with the pick call to, point, figure out, okay, who are they matching up on individually now, transitioning to the second half of their defense. Wow.
Oh, so close there.
Tough throw to complete, very bladey. Montenegro was really, shooting for that end zone, trying to be aggressive.
And just a little bit overthrown by the Gridlock there. So Monarchs will get the possession back in an attempt to score here.
Just a missed throw. Yeah, couldn't quite get saved by Frank.
Good effort by Frank, both on that throw in the end zone and trying to save that swing there.
Timeout call from Gridlock. A little bit of frustration, possibly, or maybe just, happy to get a break. Some expressiveness from Tangerlini.
Indeed. We'll likely see both teams switch out some personnel here. We'll take this timeout opportunity to say that the Milwaukee Monarchs are proud to work with Girls on the Run as one of our community partners. Girls on the Run inspires all girls to build confidence and make intentional decisions while fostering care and compassion for self and others. Trained coaches use physical activity and dynamic discussions to build social, emotional, and physical skills in every girl while encouraging healthy habits for life. Visit Girls on the Run, southeasternwi.org for more information.
And Gridlock are coming out, setting up a side stack kind of far away from the sideline that the disc is currently on.
You have to imagine that they're going to try and send off a deep throw here.
De Jesus right in the middle, isolated, a really dynamic player, super talented, both as a thrower and as a cutter.
Yes, we see Hannah Frank on the mark here. With that disc coming in.
Nice jab step. Gets open. Good separation early.
Donna Johnston with a very active mark.
Gridlock spreading the field pretty well.
Denny with a high release there.
Yeah, great pressure from Frank, who's moving a bit. Ooh. Johnston comes in, tries to put some pressure on that, but Cartagena reels it in. Yeah. Gridlock are really running on all cylinders here.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they were an excellent team going in. Probably some motivation from that close loss last night to the Minnesota Strike.
Yeah. I think the score doesn't quite reflect the progress we've seen from the Monarchs since their first game, though. They've been able to put together better movement in the downfield space. Getting the disc across the field, swinging it, using the width, as you were saying earlier, Sarah. I think that they're finding some success. They need to commit to that.
Yeah, and I think just consistency with that is the issue there. We've seen it in moments on the field where they are definitely capable and able of doing that, and we just need to see that more consistently every single point.
Yeah, I mean, Gridlock are putting good pressure on, but we still see a lot of execution errors from the Monarchs.
Indeed, but Gridlock have opened up the different defensive looks that they're bringing down against the Monarchs on the field, so definitely some adjustments that have to be made.
It's for sure a mental game as well as physical. Is that Sieber on the pole, I believe?
Believe so. Cannot see the number there.
Right down the middle to Gross Glinka, who's just open in the downfield space.
Oh, we see Duty again wide open on that deep cut, but the disc did not go up.
Nice, good cut from Shriver. Also not quite found by as the disc is moving quickly.
See Cohen there to Duffner.
Ooh.
Oh.
Really tries to sneak it into Glinka, but it's a wide throw.
Yeah, Glinka was definitely heavily covered there by the Gridlock defender.
I think Duty was open deeper in the end zone, but not quite seen.
Yeah.
Good defense from Cohen on this initiation.
Yep.
From Kim Mayer.
Gridlock able to center that disc again.
Ooh.
All right. There's 1 minute left in this quarter. Good pressure by Shriver there, but Harris definitely able to keep possession of that disc.
Good switch between Glinka and Duty collects a block.
Anyone who has played against Duty in Madison is familiar with that burst of speed.
Yeah, so impressive. Unfortunately,
Harris,
despite being open underneath, Harris was able to find that disc. Nice pressure from Duffner on the reset.
Yeah, Gridlock really working it up the line here. Oh, and reeling that in. A bit of celebration there.
Yeah, that kind of uncontested upline.
Yeah,
cut
you see that again with Barrett with that great upline cut right into the end zone.
Narrow window for sure, but gotta prioritize that on defense.
Yeah, so we have about 15 seconds left in this half. Maybe hoping the Monarchs can make some quick work here and add another goal for the end of the half. So we have Brown, Zhang, Kelly out there, Cohen again,
Lensing.
Bollinger. Looks like
And Pyre as well. Yeah, some of the Milwaukee natives.
Yeah. You see that pull go off again.
This is going to be pretty good field position if they're able to center it and find a good deep look immediately.
The Gridlock, though, really quick to pick up on their people there.
Cohen's going to have to find something quick, and Brown can launch this. Oh, that's right. They have the entirety of their possession. They don't have to score within the time limit. Unfortunately, they are not able to maintain possession there.
Yeah. So end of the first half here. New York Gridlock 11, Milwaukee Monarchs with 2.
Yeah. But better work on the field than those 2 points reflect, I would say. And they have some work to do ahead of them for sure, but also have had some flashes of great defensive pressure and some nice open cuts. If they're able to maybe make a little bit more space for each other and find those open looks, they'll find some more points to put on the board. We're going to go to break for now, though, while the teams take a bit of rest, and we'll see you very soon for the second half of this Premier Ultimate League matchup.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
Here we go, 3, 2, 1, go!
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
Welcome back to some live action here in the Premier Ultimate League with New York Gridlock versus the Milwaukee Monarchs at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. Glenn, what are we looking to see here in the second half of this game from each team?
I think, a little bit more unselfish offense from the Milwaukee Monarchs. They've been getting open, but they're just a little bit too congested, unable to find each other through that confusion.
A beautiful pull there, but New York Gridlock very quick to center that. Hannah Frank on the mark there.
Yeah, and I think they'll need some defensive intensity as well in order to bring this game into a more competitive outcome.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of poachy defense from the Monarchs here.
Gridlock patient so far, working the disc up the middle.
Definitely.
Yeah. Douglas really commanding the field, going up to Cartagena, who is able to break it through to Barrett.
To Lavity there.
Mm-hmm. Very quick movement. De Jesus is looking for that quick score, but fakes it, remaining patient in the red zone. That's a lot of pressure on Barrett, who gets laid out into. Barrett gets up, shaking it off right away, but the Monarchs player is a little bit rattled. Yeah, Montenegro really, really trying to apply that pressure, but couldn't quite find a clean line, it looks like, and Zucchero's going to come in to replace her.
Yeah, so Gridlock very close to their end zone here, ready to score. Good pressure by Johnston, but Gridlock able to make that happen.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for the Monarchs to switch up their defensive looks a little bit, provide some, some chaos in the middle of the field. Gridlock were really patient there. It might have made sense to transition out of that look a little bit sooner. But I think varying the pressure that you're applying to a team is a good opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. But I think we also saw Gridlock there, even on a contested, with a defender right there, they're willing to put that throw out and trust that their players will reel that in.
Yeah, playing with a ton of confidence. I also wonder, with the second half just starting, there's still plenty of time left, but zone often a bit of a slower pace defensive pressure to bring. So, I guess we're probably seeing the Monarchs focusing on their systems and not so much on the outcome, which I think is smart here.
Yeah, so it looks like we have Cohen out there for the Monarchs, who has had a relatively good game so far. Maybe not reflected in the score, but has definitely been a centerpiece of the Monarchs offense.
She does have an assist and a goal.
That pull coming down again. Nice centering quickly by the Monarchs players here.
Mm-hmm. Great pressure from Young on Shriver, but Shriver is calm, cool, and collected with that catch.
Shriver very patient with the disc here.
Carpenter up the line, but Young, sorry, not Young. That was Neves with great pressure, able to grab that away.
Yeah, so we see another chance for a Gridlock break here. Good pressure by Duty there, but Gridlock able to reel that in.
Good job taking a clean line. Heck moves it across the field. Wisen up to Kowalski. Some patient movement here from the Gridlock again. Nice break look to Kim here. Ooh.
Oh.
Again, we're not quite, the Monarchs are not quite taking away the around backhands sufficiently, but that one was just not quite caught.
Yeah, we see Hare taking an injury sub there.
Bring in Malinowski.
Yeah, Glinka applied some really great pressure there in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Monarchs will have the disc here. We will have Eileen Duffner bringing that disc forward. Monarchs set up in their vertical stack.
Carpenter is the reset. Cohen commanding the front of the stack. Nice initiation. Oh, just a short throw. And, Malinowski cleans that up pretty easily.
Yeah, that's definitely that, that is the upwind direction, so. Really great patience here again from Gridlock. Glinka with the matchup on Malinowski there.
And again, the around backhands just not quite contained sufficiently, and the Monarchs get beat to that backhand side again.
Yeah, Monarchs are definitely close and applying, pressure, but again, Gridlock players seem to have all of the throws in their arsenal and are not afraid to use any of them.
Yeah, they've been looking at inside breaks as well, especially going the other direction. So it's not like there's a clear and obvious defensive look here. And I think that the Monarchs just need to commit to one a little bit and trust that if they contain those arounds, that the downfield defenders are going to be able to pressure the inside looks.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. You see the Monarchs heading up to the line here. See Kelly out on the field, Cohen, Hildebrand, Brown, Bugash scope line, Bollinger. Looks like Malinowski on the pull here for the Gridlock.
Yep, coming in off that injury substitution and staying on after getting a block.
Beautiful pull by Malinowski there. Hildebrand to Brown.
Looking for some small ball movement. I think Brown's been playing really well. Really consistent here, looking to move the disc efficiently and quickly.
Yeah, it was great movement here by the Monarchs.
Nice. And Cohen's open in the deep space, and Brown's going to put it. That's a great, great look. Nice flow from the Monarchs there.
Definitely, yeah. You saw Brown sort of catch that contested swing and just, very quickly open up the field on that.
Yeah, I think that I've been impressed with Brown all game so far with that small ball kind of movement. Obviously, she's also able to open up the deep game. But I think what really made this a clean hold or a clean point for the Monarchs is the downfield spacing was a little bit more open. Players were moving a little bit more unselfishly. And so, whereas earlier in the game, I think people were getting open in the deep space and under as well. Things were a little bit too congested and chaotic for the throwers to find those open looks. And I think the Monarchs did a better job that time of spreading the field individually, but not double cutting.
Yeah, and so we have a chance here to see a Gridlock O-line and a Monarchs D-line. Jarek with the pull here.
A nice high floating one right in the middle. Highlighter down right away, putting pressure on immediately.
See Frank there on the mark.
Yep. Bit of a zone look from the Monarchs here too. Johnston up there taking away the easy options through the middle.
Indeed, but Gridlock again, willing to be patient with the disc and just swing back and forth, gaining a couple yards at a time. Oh, Demert there almost.
Yeah, probably need to leave her feet. Jarek's got good position here. Is going to easily clean that one up on the look to De Jesus.
Which means that the Monarchs D-line gets a chance to convert for a break here.
Dammert initiating downfield. Frank with a good backfield cut. Things are getting a little bit congested again. See if the Monarchs can clean it up. Nice catch from Frank.
And a pick call on the field.
Yeah, need to clean things up a little bit in that downfield space. Find some continuation options, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully this short stoppage gives them a chance to figure out that spacing.
The Gridlock players are also marking pretty flat here, so it is challenging to find options in the downfield space if they're not very obviously open.
Yeah, and this would be an upwind point for the Monarchs here.
Nice catch from Heilacher, who looks to rip it deep to Montenegro. Can't quite bring it in. That was a great look down the line.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the wind caught that at the last second.
A little
there.
short. Montenegro had to adjust onto it. I like the zone look here. I think that Frank has a really good mark, has a lot of width, and is, but the Gridlock are really able to swing it all the way across the field. The throwers are moving the disc confidently.
Yeah, we see Tulsa Douglas again there playing that center handler role. Oh. Just off the fingertips there of the Gridlock. Excellent work to keep that disc in bounds by Jarek, who sends it up right away. Again, just over the head of the deepest Monarchs player.
Yeah, that's a difficult read for Montenegro, right over the head. Probably not quite what Jarek was intending. But again, with the wind gusting as it is today, that's a challenging throw. Lavity goes up to De Jesus.
De Jesus with a great save there. And we'll score.
Yeah, I thought that Finley did a great job that point as well, using the width of the field, working together with the other Gridlock handlers. They look really confident, kind of regardless of the pressure that the Monarchs are bringing. But some nice defensive effort that time from the Monarchs.
Yeah, in particular, Demert's efforts had a couple of real close, almost got that D. So I hope that we see that D-line again out on the field, able to generate some turns. Going back to a more traditional O-line here for the Monarchs, though. It's a line that has several Madison players on it. Glenka, Duty, Shriver, Cohen.
Although they're often, they're not often on the same team necessarily, spread across a couple different club teams in the Madison area, so still developing chemistry together. But I think we've already seen growth, as we said earlier, since the previous game the Monarchs played.
Yeah, and the Monarchs are, a team that really makes up primarily three communities in Milwaukee players, Madison area players, and Chicago players, although Demert is from Iowa as well, as more of a travel player.
Nice work from the handlers to move it across, but Carpenter tries to put it up to Shriver, who's often asked to make a lot of catches under pressure, and it was just too much that time under pressure from Kowalski. Yeah,
it seemed a little rushed to get that disc off with the pressure that Shriver had.
But Carpenter gets it back. It's a nice high jump.
Duffner with the disc there. We see Cohen and Shriver towards the end zone.
Let's see if they can work out of this pressure. Shriver with another contested catch and goes into the end zone for Carpenter, but again, small window, had to come fast, and just a little bit too hot for the receiver.
Yeah, and we talked about how Shriver is dependable in those situations, but is often placed into situations that they are small windows or heavily pressured. And we see another turnover by Gridlock there.
Nice pressure in the downfield space from Duty.
We see the Monarchs setting up in their vertical stack there. A great initiating cut by Duty. Cohen with the disc.
Way to use the width there. That's nice movement from the Monarchs. Getting a little bit out of sorts here, though. Got to go back to Duffner for a big loss of yards.
Yeah, Duffner was open for many seconds there.
Mm-hmm. Good deep cut from Glinka. Lots of pressure this whole point.
Yeah.
Carpenter takes a wide angle. But Cohen's able to get the disc across to Shriver. Again. Tough catch made.
Ooh.
And tries to squeeze it. But it looks like Glinka's defender was able to read that play.
Yeah. Hare there was able to poach off and make that play. Oh, call on the field here.
Going to be a timeout for Gridlock. Well,
and take this timeout moment to let you know that Associated Bank is the official live stream sponsor of the Milwaukee Monarchs. At Associated Bank, we've got more than banking products. We've got your back. Visit associatedbank.com.
A good point so far. Kind of a long point. Turnovers back and forth. Good pressure from both teams. I expect to see that more coming out of the timeout as well.
Yeah, so this is similar to that point that we saw in the first half. That was a lot of back and forth. And in that point, Gridlock called a timeout as well and then went on a run, able to kind of reset everybody and get everybody back into their roles. I wonder if they'll do that again here.
Or if we'll see the Monarchs step up and do some more containing, try to limit the around throws that the Gridlock have found so effective in this game.
Yeah, it looks like the Monarchs are mostly keeping their same line on the field here. We still see Shriver on the field, and Glinka, and Duty, and Cohen, Carpenter, Duffner.
Yeah, same line.
Yeah.
I like the trust that shows in this line. You know, they've been playing really good defense, and I think that this is a great opportunity for them to come back and put it in.
Definitely. De Jesus with a great catch there. Looking for that deep throw. Doesn't send it off.
That's really good movement. So powerful. They're going right down the line. Difficult option. Yeah, kind of same eighth looks.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely successful moving it up the field along that sideline, but not quite able to score there.
Carpenter reels that one in. Shriver's open in the middle, calling for it. Good communication.
Shriver thinks about taking that deep look, opts against it.
Gridlock doing a lot of downfield switching. Nice find from Duty, but just a little bit over the head of Glinka. Shriver cleans it up.
Indeed. Cohen there in the middle with the disc.
Oh, yes.
Wide open Glinka.
A lot of patience here, especially with the downfield bracket that the Gridlock are executing. But nice break throw from Glinka, finding Carpenter.
Carpenter looking for that reset to Duffner.
And the Monarchs now looking a little bit stagnant in the downfield space, doing a lot of cutting against this bracket.
Glinka with another great cut. Up in the air to Duty. Oh!
Incredible effort from Duty. Couldn't quite reel that one in. That was a great bid.
Yeah, it's a classic Duty bid.
Difficult catch with the edge that Glinka put on it, but it had to get there quick.
Definitely just couldn't quite reel it in. Definitely got a hand on that, though. See Duty here on the mark, and Gridlock sending that right away. Glinka with the read.
Wonderful pressure. Good positioning there. Barrett's calling a foul And Glinka is a little bit unsure whether it looks like she had position.
Yeah, so we'll see Glinka do
Bear-
it good.
Bear tried to go over the top of Glinka to catch that, which is not a space that she's entitled to, considering that Glinka was...
Yeah, and you see Glinka, acting out that play and what she thinks that she saw there.
They're gonna send it back rather than go to the observer. And Joe will walk it back. Marked by Duty.
Yeah, Joe was really quick to send that disc deep, but good reads by the Monarchs to make that a tougher throw.
Cartagena up to De Jesus, who's wide open. Advances the disc to Lavity. Yeah, and the Gridlock are really chewing up the open side right now. Shooting deep, and then Glinka's got another opportunity to make a defensive play, but Barrett's just a little bit too open. Lots of separation there.
Indeed, the working it up the line there worked that time for the Gridlock.
I think they had a little bit more horizontal space, and that made it a little bit easier. Higher margin of error for the throwers. That was clean work. It's unfortunate because I think that Glinka made a really great defensive play, and the foul call sent it back. We see Duty giving some support to Glinka, walking back just off camera here.
Yeah. So we have about 11 seconds left in this quarter. Score is currently 15 for the Gridlock and 3 for the Monarchs.
But again, I think that's another point where the Monarchs are doing good work. They're advancing the disc. They're playing great defense, and they're just not quite putting it all together. And you won't necessarily know that by the scoreline itself.
Yeah, definitely. Malinowski again with the pull for the Gridlock.
With some of the other Gridlock players still on the field. Ooh, great dig out there from Brown on the wide throw.
Yeah, Brown just really making great plays and saves throughout this game.
And again, at the end of quarter here, as long as they maintain possession, the Monarchs will have all the time that they need in order to score this point. Now that the clock has run out, a turnover will end it.
Great over-the-cup throw there.
Nice work from Pyre.
Brown with the disc again. Potentially looking deep.
They're trapped on the sideline here, and nice catch from Hildebrand. Who tries to go up to what's that?
All right. We will be right back for fourth quarter action at the Gridlocks versus Monarch game.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
Welcome back to Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee, where the Monarchs are hosting the New York Gridlock. Bit of a lopsided scoreline right now. The Gridlock are up 15-3 on the Monarchs, but the Monarchs are playing well, especially with the kind of pressure that the Gridlock are bringing. They have a pretty good completion rate, but maybe too many unforced errors in the game so far. to keep pace with the Gridlock.
Yeah, definitely. And some of those have been a little self-imposed, but we also know that the Gridlock has been applying a lot of pressure, making some of those throws and completions a challenge throughout the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially near the sidelines. The Gridlock are really going no around on the mark, shutting down a lot of the upline cuts from the Monarchs, making it difficult for them to reset and swing across the field. When the Monarchs have moved the disc and used their horizontal spacing, they found open downfield receivers, but sometimes getting a little bit too congested to find each other on the field and take advantage of those open looks. They're continuing to work on that chemistry and clearing space for each other.
Definitely. And so as we see the Monarchs walking down the field to the other side, we'll remind you that this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
Well, Gridlock are going to come out on defense for this fourth quarter action. Malinowski's going to put the pull in play, taking over for Mascara, who went down with an injury yesterday in the 1-point loss that the Gridlock had against the Minnesota Strike.
And that pull is the first out-of-bounds pull from the Gridlock that we've seen today. Gridlock have had a few different people pulling, and while they certainly aren't Mascara's corner right outside of the end zone pulls, they have had some good positioning, forcing the Monarchs to start on a sideline and really work hard to get that disc into a flow.
Mm-hmm. And the Gridlock are coming in again with their poachy zone look. The Monarchs go over the top. Great catch by Duffner. Nice creative throw from Brown. He's really done a great job commanding the offense this game.
Great catch by Bugash Scopoline on that secondary look.
Lots of pressure, but a great catch by Lensing, who breaks the mark up to Duffner, who's going to go over to Bugash Scopoline, brings it in.
And they score.
Quick movement and nice flow from the Monarchs. I think they sort of went right at the teeth of that zone defense and broke right through.
Yeah, and Bugash Scopoline was definitely crucial to the movement of the disc on that point. They were just kind of all over the field.
Getting some love from the teammate. Nice energy here from the Monarchs coming in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I believe that might be Bugash Scopoline's first score in Premier Ultimate League.
Nice.
And really catching some great pressure from Harris there.
Right there.
So now we'll get that Monarchs D-line back and see if they can generate a turn.
Still looking for their first break of the game.
Believe that. Yes, that is correct.
I thought they had one earlier.
You did think that they had one earlier. That was just the quarter break. Mm-hmm. So
nice pull from Jarek, slicing through the bit of gusty wind here we have going on. And again, Heilicher is down quickly, adding pressure early, and the Gridlock try to go over the top, but they can't quite connect to Barrett.
Yeah.
Johnston's wide open in the underspace, but Heilicher is going to go deep to Jarek and just kind of outthrow her just a bit.
Yeah, it was a great bid by Jarek. Great effort, but looks like Jarek will take an injury here.
Yeah, great effort there. Zucchera's going to come in for her and match up on Cartagena.
Yep, we'll see.
This is good reset pressure. Good mark from Montenegro, who's back in the game after taking an injury substitution earlier. Love to see that.
Oh, just a low throw there to De Jesus. Could not come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we see.
Great defensive switch from the Gridlock to pick up Demert, who was wide open under.
Yeah, I was about to say that Demert was wide open under. And amazing grab, fingertips by Johnston. 2
great grabs in a row. That was a lot of pressure as well on Welsh. And that one's just a little bit errant. Monarchs not quite capitalizing on the break opportunity there.
De Jesus with the disc. We see Frank on the mark.
Been very impressed with Frank's mark, really forcing De Jesus to put that into the backfield, losing for a loss of yards.
Indeed.
Oh, and Barrett just escapes past Zucchero, but the throw is a little bit too blady for Barrett.
Yeah, that was a great look by Flaherty, though.
Monarchs have another opportunity, though, if they can remain patient.
Yeah, and you can see the wind even on the jerseys there. Definitely a factor here.
Demert stretches it deep. Frank goes up to Heilicher, who's going to rip it, but Demert wasn't going deep. It looked like she had turned to come under.
Yeah, it looks like had taken a few steps deep. Didn't
to
think
open up the under space.
Yeah, didn't think that disc was going to come in for an under.
Yeah. Finley was taking away that deep space.
Yeah, Gridlock will get that on the sideline, though, with Demert on the mark.
Good pressure from Montenegro on that up line.
De Jesus with the disc here, centering that.
Creative throw from Finley.
Barrett there.
Tried to turn and gun it to that continuation space. Didn't quite connect with Douglas. And Frank is motioning the offense to come a little bit closer to initiate. Welsh is open, not even really being covered by Barrett because of this Pochi defense, but a great catch from Demert.
Demert comes down with it. That is play that Demert is known for.
Yeah, so effective in the air. Frank, nice break throw to Heilicher, who continues over to Montenegro. And then Welsh is looking to escape, but the Monarchs are being pretty patient here.
Yeah, Demert making a great in cut there. Zucchero with the disc now.
Yep, turns and looks to that open break side space when the mark wrapped around. That's really smart play there from the young Zucchero, and we're able to find Heilicher in the end zone for their first goal.
Yeah, and Demert with the assist there.
That was better.
That was a break.
Yeah. That was really good offense, I think, especially in that last possession, to remain patient. And I think I'm especially impressed with Zucchero, who noticed when she turned and looked for that reset, and De Jesus wrapped around. She just like, okay, great. That means my upfield inside space is open. Let me just break the mark.
Yeah, indeed. Good patient play by Zucchero there. Here we see Demert's grab. Always great in traffic. And then Demert.
Just eyes for the end zone. Here we go. The Monarchs up to 5, and it looks like a timeout is being called, probably by the Gridlock after getting broken for the first time. Their coaching staff just going to settle them a little bit, make sure that they're able to keep their foot on the gas and not allow this to turn into a run for the Monarchs.
Indeed. So we'll take this time out to let you know about our sponsor. The Milwaukee LGBTQ Community Center is dedicated to serving the needs of LGBTQIA+ people and to making the greater Milwaukee area safer and more inclusive. Their programming focuses on anti-violence, healthy relationships, and counseling services. The center's resources also include a lending library with over 2,000 LGBT titles, meeting space, computer and internet access, and a food and clothing pantry. To learn more, visit mkelgbt.org.
Good energy from the crowd here. Getting into this potential break run from the Monarchs.
Yeah, definitely. Some excitement within the stands.
Tons of Monarchs jerseys in the crowd. Lots of people getting in on that sponsorship from the Premier Ultimate League. Monarch coming out with that zone look. Gridlock moving it effectively across the field, forcing the Monarchs to stretch their defense. Making pretty quick work here. Cartagena wins the upline space.
Unsurprisingly.
Nice around throw. Even past the strong mark from Frank.
Yeah, Gridlock definitely has some all-star players.
That's really good reset defense from Brown to stop Amy Cho, who still gets open on that side. But like that was really good defense.
It was great defense, but, I watched the game last night with Amy Jo really having an amazing game. So super quick on the field. Unsurprising that eventually she got open.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially with a thrower like her. It's difficult to stop everything, but I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
That footwork from Brown.
Indeed. See the Monarchs O-line walking towards their end zone here.
Duty giving a little bit of swagger toward the fans.
See Kelly on the field again.
Yeah, a lot of height on this line. Would be really nice to see the Monarchs really stretch the field, pushing to that deep space and opening up their undercuts, attacking the Gridlock defense, who continues to play a lot of bracket in the downfield space.
Yeah, so that was another pull from Malinowski, who appears just off screen to be set up as a deep in a zone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Monarchs content to work it up in the middle. Pretty effective here, gaining yards. Cohen's wide open on the side, close to the sideline. Finds Shriver in the middle, who's going to be patient for a second.
Excellent work by Carpenter there under pressure to get that disc.
Oh, but just doesn't anticipate, doesn't check over the shoulder into the downfield space and see Joe as the, looked like maybe a kick block. There's going to be a foul call. That was smart defense from Joe, able to come in and apply pressure on that upline space without creating a dangerous play, and the thrower just didn't quite check the space before throwing.
Looks like that was a contested foul, if I am reading the observer's hand signals correctly. Disc goes back to Joe.
Who's going to launch it to Malinowski, and Annie Shriver there puts a great defensive effort in to keep position and make sure that the much taller Malinowski is not able to reel it in.
Excellent height on that jump from Shriver.
And there is a injury substitution. It looks like Caitlin Duffner is going to come off for Rose Glinka. Observers are going to check whether the Gridlock wanted substitution as well. They are going to decline. And then Eileen Duffner is going to put it into play for the Monarchs. Glinka's open right now down the sideline, and I wonder if they're going to find... Yeah.
Yep.
Nice throw from Eileen.
Find Glinka.
Who goes up to Shriver.
Oh, and there was a streaking Duty in the end zone, but this does not go up.
Yeah, covered by Malinowski. That would be a speed matchup. Nice spot from Glinka, but a lot of contact from the defender. Is that Pepe?
Carpenter with the disc there, centering it back to Eileen Duffner.
Real patient, waiting for a larger window. Glinka's going to provide an option.
Reads that disc well.
Cohen making an attack and clearing. Nice selfless play there. And then finding the break side. Great catch.
Great catch from Cohen there.
Mm-hmm. Who's going to find the break side, but a bit too bladey for Glinka, who lays out.
Oh, and we have a couple of Gridlock players headed deep here.
Mm-hmm. Monarchs are a bit out of sorts, but collecting themselves now as Young finds Malinowski down the sideline.
Yeah, Malinowski got a lot of yards there after streaking deep initially.
And the Gridlock have found their way back to a vertical stack, able to work the sides pretty well. And Malinowski puts it up, but tough throw in the wind.
Yeah. Not quite there.
And then Eileen Duffner will walk it up with Carpenter in the backfield. Carpenter's been playing a pretty consistent, reliable reset for the Monarchs today. Shriver gets us going. And then Malinowski's just sitting in that deep space.
Shriver sending that up, but Malinowski right there.
That was a bit speculative, trying to beat that bracket.
Gridlock again, just before midfield.
Pretty patient.
That wasn't a round that went off there, though. Monarchs are doing a good job of poaching in the lane there.
Gridlock, too, though, shooting to the end zone. I think their patience was paying off for them. I think that last look might have been a bit not what they needed for the moment. Kowalski, I think, has been playing a really strong game, moving the disc across the field, and that shot was just a little bit too small of a window, probably.
Yeah, so we see multiple Gridlock defenders there, and then they find the wide open Emily Cohen. No mark on Shriver right now, who sends that up to Cohen, and we see Duty wide open in the end zone.
And Duty will score her first goal of the Premier Ultimate League season, tossing it up there. So happy to see her on the field after missing last year's Premier Ultimate League season. Having been diagnosed with breast cancer, she's now back, having had surgery, gone through chemo, and is now out there wide open, so speedy, and bringing the Monarchs to their 6th goal of the game.
Yeah, unsurprising that Duty was wide open in the deep space there. Duty is probably one of the quickest players in the Madison area, the Monarchs. Definitely as a challenge to guard, very speedy, very quick maneuvering. Really great to see that goal there.
Problem on the field. Got a great defensive block earlier. Nice throw, too, from Cohen, who patiently waited, gave a quick pump, making sure that she was going to be able to throw Duty all the way in the end zone. Given how much separation Duty had, real smart play from Cohen.
Yeah, so with 2 minutes to go here, a little under, we want to let you know that Associated Bank is the official live stream sponsor of the Milwaukee Monarchs. At Associated Bank, it's about more than money. It's about having your back. Visit associatedbank.com. And Monarchs with the pull there.
Jarek put it pretty deep. That was a nice pull right in the center. Cartagena looking for that break side. Content to move it up to Finley in the middle. Johnson again doing a good job of trying to contest those throws through the center.
Yeah, but Gridlock just, willing to move that disc wherever.
Pretty patient. And they're able to kind of break through that cup and find the sideline. Barrett's had some nice movement here as well. Finds the open space on the break side.
Yeah, Monarchs just weren't able to transition out of that zone fast enough with how quick Gridlock was able to move that disc down the field.
I think that throw, I think it was from Barrett around the mark toward that far sideline, really opened things up, and the quick movement after that set up a nice sequence for the Gridlock.
Yeah, and Gridlock definitely showing the depth of their roster here today, even with one of their top players out with an injury. They just have an endless amount of players who are willing to step up and really play their game.
Especially on the second day of a back-to-back, 2 away games, playing, last night in Minnesota, making the drive down here to Wisconsin. Ton of heart and grit from the Gridlock.
Yeah, definitely. These travel weekends for teams can sometimes be a challenge with the demands of the schedule, potentially, having negative impacts on the team. But we're not seeing that today with Gridlock.
No, they've performed extremely well. Brown goes up to Zhang, who swings it down to Zucchero, who lays out but isn't quite able to bring it in.
We'll see Gridlock with a break chance here.
Young with a nicely timed under. Gets looked off, though, from Nevis, who eventually moves it up to Kim Mayer. And Nevis with a easy upline goal
Indeed.
from Hecht.
That was a quick break from the Monarchs, or for the Gridlock, excuse me.
Yeah, that was pretty efficient. Looks like some of the same folks are going to get back onto the line for the Monarchs. Short point, they still got pretty fresh legs there.
Yeah, definitely. We do see some new additions to the Monarchs line. Taking a look at Gridlock here, preparing to pull the disc. We see one of their coaches discussing some strategy on the line.
Yeah, Eileen Murray, just an incredible coach, long-time coach in 3 different professional Ultimate Leagues. I had the fortune to be coached by Eileen when I was playing on the East Coast. She's so smart and energetic, a great competitor.
We'll have to get Eileen over to the West Coast for a guest coaching role so that a complete 4 out of 4 can exist.
That would be unsurprising. She's probably going to be continuing to bring her wisdom to the game for a long time.
Indeed. We see Hildebrand and Brown quickly working that disc between each other. Bukash Scopeline with a great under there.
Right back up to Brown. I love the quick movement from Brown. She's been really effective this game. Oh, Kelly finds Bollinger downfield. Sorry.
Brown again with that disc.
Going to look to move it across the field now, I bet.
Monarchs near the end zone here.
Nice break throw.
Good patience for the Monarchs. I can see that they might be tempted. And Zucchero with the score.
That's her first goal of the season as well. Zucchero playing out of Marquette in college. Super fast player. Love to see her use that speed to get open on the open side from that throw from Lensing. There's some great energy from the Monarchs in the second half now.
Yeah, indeed. I think one of the interesting things to see is that it hasn't been 1 or 2 players on the Monarchs who have dominated. This really has been a team effort. Are there any players with more than 1 goal?
If you combine goals and assists, then yes, Cohen for sure.
Right.
Cohen's got a couple assists plus a goal. But yeah, it's a lot of depth from the Monarchs. I think they've really spread their playing time out a lot, and we're seeing a lot of them contribute, not just in the stats, but also on the field, working the disc up. I think that, the way that Coach Murphy talked about the internal focus, working on their systems, is being shown by how evenly they are working the disc up and how they're attacking all over the field.
Monarchs really have to be happy and take some wins away from this second half, even if the score doesn't represent that. So we only have about 2 seconds left on the clock now.
And so, Douglas is going to call a timeout. That was great pressure from Heilicher to get down and make sure that the Gridlock did not have any uncontested throws into the end zone. And so Douglas making the smart play to make sure that their last throw is exactly what they want with only 2 seconds left.
Yeah, and so this is, really a high level of coaching, right? That despite the fact that the score maybe, is in your favor and you're definitely going to win at this point, treating it like it is a close game so that the players know what is coming and what will happen when they do have games like last night's game against the Strike, where it is a close match. Yeah,
they're really looking ahead to the playoffs, I think. Not in this moment, obviously, but in the zoomed-out perspective on the season.
Well, they do have a tough schedule before they get there.
Looks like Cartagena is being left open right now, which is an interesting choice if Douglas is able to find her. But she's just going to rip it, and it probably will fall short of the end zone unless Malinowski can tip it in. Oh, it floats well, but the Monarchs clean it up.
Nice work in a crowd there by the Monarchs. Frank getting her hat back.
And a lot of smiles from the Monarchs here. I think that they are pleased with how they've been resilient throughout this game, and I think that we really started to see some of their offense click in a way that we hadn't quite seen in the first game that they played.
Indeed. Yeah, and I think that this will carry them forward to their next games, which are a road trip, correct?
A double away weekend where they play against the Indianapolis Indy Red, and then jump in the car and drive over to Columbus for their second away game of the same day and play against Pride.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a challenge. And we see the Monarchs players running over to Mascara after getting through the high five line, making sure to show Mascara some love there. Despite being injured.
Such a talented player. I think the Monarchs players really showing their respect. I'm also impressed with how well the Gridlock acquitted themselves after a tough, close loss last night. They came out and, as we said earlier, came out fired up from the beginning, bringing a lot of defensive pressure and intensity, executing their game plan, and really maintaining the foot on the gas the whole game.
Indeed.
So thank you for joining us here at Hart Park. We will watch the Monarchs go on their road trip, and then we'll be back for the Monarchs hosting Minnesota Strike
in Madison, Wisconsin at Breeze Stevens Field, which is sure to draw an excellent crowd.
So thanks for joining us. This has been Glenn Poole and
Sarah Lazenby, and we are signing off.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.